Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. In the last part we did some more levels around the Panda King's area, and now it's time for a desperate race.
Hurry, what are you doing down there?
Well, I'm minding my post when I notice this snow cone stand, and I think to myself, hey Murray, you gotta keep your energy up. So I hurry over here, and then all of a sudden, monkeys are everywhere, bugging me to race them 3 times around this track for a key.
You could use the key. Think you could take them?
Come on, Sly, they're a pack of monkeys. How can I lose?
Alright, remember, steer with the left stick and press square to use any nitro boosts you collect. Keep clear of those icy patches.
Thanks for the advice, Sly, but trust me, I got this under control.
How incredibly specific they said 3 laps around. Not 2, not 4, just specifically 3.
Also, Panda King has a snow cone stand in the middle of his base.
Well look, everyone deserves a treat now and again. I think it's probably union mandated. So, it's another race level with Murray's car and all that. However, this one is harder in that there are ice physics frequently throughout the track. You can avoid them slightly, but as you can see, I'm slipping and sliding all over the place trying to do so. I do think this is technically the easier of the 2 races, despite that though, because I believe the enemy racers are also susceptible to the same slipperiness, so if you like bump them off away, they can flounder about a little more. But if you didn't like the first race back in Mugshots level, you're not gonna like this one, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, ice physics. Sometimes you can be fun, but for the most part, you're not.
It really does depend on the genre, and I find, like, I don't mind it in, like, Mega Man games, because oh god, the ice levels there tend to have the water physics for Mega Man, where the jumps all, like, doubled in height and all that, and that feels good.
Yeah, I was about to say too, in Mega Man, it's okay. I don't mind it so much there.
In my head, one of the most infamous levels in platforming history is an ice level, because I immediately think of 9-7 from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Albeit that was less infamous due to the ice physics itself and more for the piranha plants that would be unfrozen frequently in that level.
Not bad.
Yeah, much easier level than the first one around. And I do think it is because, for one thing, I think the track is less curvy. Or at the least, like, the physics, if you game them well, you can do well at gaining yourself a lead. It's much, much easier than the first one. If anything, it's technically one of the easier levels in this set. Mind you, again, barring the occasional minigame thing, Sly 1 isn't that hard. Like, it has moments where it'll be like, okay, this section's kind of rough feeling. But it challenges you in a gentle way. But now we have all of the keys here for the Panda King's lair, so it's time for us to go challenge the man himself.
Via rocket.
If you're wondering what that jump cut was, it was both me restarting the recording and also me standing there for a minute forgetting I had to hook onto this a certain way, as you can see. There we go. Whee! And then it blows up 15 feet in the air, and then the game ends.
Poor Sly. He never finished the Thievius Raccoonus.
I see you carry Kane of notorious Cooper Thief clan. Have you come here for revenge? To steal back the Thievius Raccoonus?
That was my plan at first, but now I'm more interested in putting an end to your avalanche extortion racket.
Why should you care if I bury a few worthless village in snow? You are a thief, just like me.
No, that's only half right. I am a thief from a long line of master thieves, while you're just a frustrated firework artist turned homicidal pyromaniac.
Insolent child. You shall pay dearly for your disrespect. Still, to honor your Cooper ancestry, I will send you to your doom with the beauty of my new firework technique, Flame Foo.
Panda King is probably my favorite boss in the game on the whole. He's very focused on firing fireballs at you from a distance as you approach him up the stairs. When you get up near him, he's going to be either doing chops or wheels along the ground that you need to just dodge around or over. Meanwhile, you can just wail on him when you're right next to him.
He also calls out his attack too, which is pretty helpful.
Yeah, as a kid, this was easily the boss I had the most fun with in this game. Mind you, that also says a lot for me starting with Sly 3, where I feel like the boss fights are definitely a little more varied in what they do. compared to 1. But while also being, I think, a little less brutal than Sly 2, because I feel, if memory serves, Sly 2's boss fights can be kind of rough to go through in terms of difficulty spikes.
Yeah, and it's like they're just a bunch of like I had fun with the boss fights. It's just their HP levels felt like ridiculously high.
And I want to say that was to partially incentivize using the tricks and upgrades you could get and buy, but it just felt like a clumsy way to do it.
Also, here's Panda King trying to be like that he and Sly are alike, when it's like, I don't think Sly has murdered anyone at this point.
Your skill with that cane is unparalleled.
Sly, I did a cross-analysis of the metal used in that high-tech blasting vehicle, and it turns out it can only be found in one place. The Krakatoa volcano in Russia. That's got to be where we'll find the 5th member of the Thievius 5. So get what you came for and let's get out of here.
Retrieving the Panda King section of the Thievius Raccoonus gave me a chance to learn about my technically minded ancestor, Otto Van Cooper. Not known for his physical dexterity, Otto relied on vehicles to aid him in his criminal endeavors. Armed with his designs, I was sure Murray would be able to make some cool modifications to the team van. A frustrated Inspector Fox, having missed me coming down the mountain, threw the Panda King in jail, thus putting an end to his avalanche protection services and ensuring the safety of mountain villages throughout China. My gang and I took a little time off and did some shopping in Hong Kong. Thoroughly relaxed, we headed home to plan our next move.
Okay, partner, this is it! A trip to Clockwork's lair!
Who the hell's Clockwork? Alright, so now we have access to the final world in the game. But before we do that, I want to get as much done in the main campaign as I can, and that means it's time for me to deal with something I have only done, I think, maybe once or twice before in this game, the time trials. You might have noticed earlier in the game that there is an hourglass next to the safe on every single level entrance. That unlocks after you first beat a stage. If you've ever played Crash 3, it's effectively the same thing. Near the start of the level, there is an hourglass, and the moment you grab it, you enter a time trial mode where you have to finish the level within the listed time. You can use some abilities like the roll to help speed this up, but otherwise it's a bunch of understanding the level design, knowing what you can and can't jump on, and trying to figure out shortcuts from within that. I, for this particular playthrough, used reference videos on YouTube to figure out what good strategies there were. I believe it was by the YouTube user Cooper Curse, I want to say. So if you're ever having trouble, look up those videos. They helped me a lot with this. There's also some strategies they use. They're just outright from speedruns, like in the snake level back in Ms. Ruby's world. Just jumping on a wall and walking to the exit without having to deal with the giant snake whatsoever. There was a lot of time trials in games for completion at this point in time, and I believe that was pretty much directly inspired by Crash 3 alongside a couple of other games. I don't mind it in concept for extra stuff, but in order to get a true 100%, I feel it can be a little bit rough depending on how the game does it, and this game leans towards that feeling, I feel. What about you? You ever done these?
No, I've never touched the time trials in Sly Cooper. I've done a couple time trials in other games, but it's not something I really like to do.
Yeah, there's times it just isn't the most satisfying.
Yeah, sometimes they're satisfying, sometimes they just make me very, very anxious.
Notably, they mark your time in the world map with how much time you had left, but now it's time for something interesting, the reward.
So this is the approach leading into Raleigh's Storm Machine boat, and this is one of the first levels of the game we made, and it has been gone over and over and over, and as the characters changed, as his jump length changed and jump height changed, this level got changed too.
Right.
And it's also sort of like the test bed for the lighting, right? Hokyo, you did all the lighting in the game.
Right.
What kind of stuff was going through your head when you were making this level?
Before I do any lighting, the artist me and including other artists, we trying to get the right color palettes, get the right mood of the time. The main goal that I was trying to do for this game was not making it too dark, but you still get the sense that you're at the nighttime.
Is it hard to do to kind of get a versatile set of colors going on to represent night,
Right.
but not be kind of Las Vegas-y?
Right. As you can see the game right now, you have tealish shadow all over. That is our shadow. Most of the game uses black as the shadow, but we have different lighting that can make the shadow. We can choose the color shadow. We can make it pink, blue, whatever color, and we can give the intensity and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of time consuming just trying which shadow works the best with these textures. That was the most time consuming was with the textures. Does it works well with the blue? If it doesn't, then we slightly change the saturations or the colors of the textures. We did a lot of process on those in this level.
How many times do you reckon you went through this level and relit it?
Maybe more than 30 times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is intense.
Yeah, because we're dealing with the fog and the shadow, and the most important thing is the brightness. If the game is too dark, everybody has a different TVs, so it might look very dark on some people's TV, and it might look very washed out, very bright. So that was very challenging for me to making it, kind of getting it right, the brightness.
You've got a really weird setup here at work where you've got your computer monitor and then 3 TVs right next to each other while you're doing your lighting. And one is a bright TV,
right.
One's a normal TV, one's a dark TV.
Right. The reason that I have a 3 different set of TVs, I wanted to see the game with really kind of washed, bright, and also very, very dark. So my goal is trying to make it all same with those 3 different monitors, trying to get it all same brightness and the colors.
So for completing any given time trial in a level, you get a matching commentary track talking about the game's development from the developers. There are full transcripts of these, I believe, on the Sly Fanon wiki, and worth noting, I believe, you only do time trials in levels where you actually play as Sly, so like the Murray car levels, the minigame levels, like the twin stick shooters, you don't get those in that. But there are files for commentary of them in the game that just don't play. I believe the cutting room floor has full transcripts on those for those curious. It's a very neat reward for doing the time trials. If anything, it's worth it just to hear them alone. I do wish there was a way to hear them that wasn't going back into the level, but oh dear, oh no, what am I going to do? Have fun playing the game again?
Fair enough. But though the way they could have done that too is like kind of like unlock like an audio thing in the truck.
Yeah.
So that you could go back and re-listen to them if you wanted to.
Yeah, that would have been neat. But just to showcase it, this is after I've done all of the other time trials, because I did that and showed the dialogue for it all at once. Just to show you my rough times that you should try and shoot for roughly. If you look carefully at the times remaining, you can see which ones I pulled really close on and which ones the speedrun from Cooper Curse used a very speedrun friendly route. I forget the exact percentage this is worth in the game's completion markers. I'll see if I can find that between now and the second pass of editing. But for 100%, it is required, and for doing so, we're going to unlock other stuff at the end game, which we'll showcase when we get there. This took me in total, I think, about hour and a half, 2 hours to do, between fails on some levels and all that, because especially some of the earlier levels, you get weirdly tight on.
Yeah, like I noticed a lot of them were like, you had like a second left.
Yeah, it's rough.
We were on our way to the Krakkarov volcano in Russia. While looking over what little information I had on the final member of the Fiendish Five, I began to notice something. In the 4 parts of the Thievius Raccoonus recovered so far, several of the pictures depict a shadowy owl-like figure, which looks very similar to the police images of the mysterious clockwork. Is this a strange coincidence, or is there something I'm missing?
Hey, Slide! The road to Clockwork's fortress is blocked! Do me a favor, shoot out that lock for me, would you, pal?
So, Cold Heart of Hate is a very unique world compared to everything else in the game. In that, there's no hub world for this world. It is one level straight into the other, like a lot of older platformers were prior to, really, I guess, the late PlayStation era. And in that regard, it could be a very kinetic chapter. With that said, it makes game overs kind of punishing, because I think in some cases, you do get sent back some levels.
My scanners indicate the Clockwork is holed up in that owl-shaped tower.
First things first, we've got hostile Robo-Falcons at 12 o'clock, Sly!
Starting off here in this first level, we got a rail shooter. Shoot all the enemies, otherwise you die. This can be rough, because if memory serves, your fail state is still one shot. Yes, there we go. But thankfully, I think they throw enemies at you.
Tower, it's a giant death ray! Slide, take out those rocks or we're in trouble!
Interrupting me, Bentley. God damn. The margin for error here can be tight, but I'd say it's still generous enough that it's doable. Largely, especially like these owls take a while to actually fire off, but they're at their easiest to hit when they're about to do the charge at you and all that. This isn't the level I usually die in a lot whenever I replay this game, though. In this specific chapter, there's one other involving the car that is much, 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 much worse coming up. If you're careful about it, I think you can also get some shots in from a pretty far distance and use that to your advantage, and you should hopefully be fine here. It's a neat idea, just kind of flimsily executed, I find.
They should at least, like, give you a horseshoe. I feel.
I think they do if you get enough deaths in a row, but that also depends on your life count at that point.
Oh, okay.
Which, Sly 1 isn't too hard to get lives in, especially if you destroy a lot of the debris that contains coins along the way. I think it's harder to get lives in than, say, any of the Crash games, especially Crash 2 and 3. But largely, it's doable.
You know, just looking at it, just seeing it in dialogue now, it always fascinates me that they spell clockwork with an E in work.
Well, yeah, that needs to sound cool.
Very super villainy.
Door on the far side of the cavern. The only way to unlock it is to analyze at least 60 of those hanging computers.
Would have been easy to get at them if Murray hadn't thrashed our new turret.
Yeah, won't be a problem. I can hack the computer's connection coupling so they'll fall to the ground. Then, Murray will...
Wait, Murray trashed the turret? Murray, what did you do between going into the cave and getting here?
It was the cave that did it. It was too tall.
You know, I believe it.
So this level is the one where you're probably going to get your most game overs in a given playthrough. There are, I believe, exactly, let's see, 59 plus 59 is 108. There's 109, I think. No, 119 total computers up in the sky, and they slowly fall down. Collect 60, you win. If the enemy collects 60, you die. And they are very aggressive about grabbing these computers themselves. If there's any level I think someone's going to die in the most in this game, it's going to be this one, because it is just genuinely a pain in the ass to manage these guys while trying to get the computers faster than they can. Especially considering they outnumber you at least 2 to 1.
Oh my god. This meter. Oh my god, it's giving... This sucks.
Yeah, this level sucks. I feel like every notable platformer of some sort on the, especially PS2 and GameCube generation, had that one part everyone goes, oh, I love that game. Except this. This level is this game's this. It's not a very good level.
Oh, that's way too tight. That is way too tight.
Like, if there was a way to actually more permanently stun the weird little lava goblins, maybe this could be better. Like, maybe, like, if you hit them twice in a row, they're, like, out for, like, 15 seconds. That could be good. But, well, if that me put it like this, if there's any reason I want to see a remake of this game, which there are several, it is them getting that to be a little more doable and more comfortable.
Now we have enough data to open the security doors. Just past them is the control room to Clockwork's Death Ray Tower. I think it's time for some Cooper thieving and sabotage. Don't you think, Sly?
Bentley, I can barely hear you over the music. But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 11, we're going to continue in the cold heart of hate. See you guys then.
Bye-bye.